Hi, good morning, everyone. This is the Shanta Babu Pandian. I'm happy to meet you guys. The new video which talks about the Python ecosystem. So my earlier video talks about the introduction to data science, like what exactly data science, why it required, and the roles and responsibilities in data science projects and process, different life cycle. So we have discussed about that, right? So I'm going to jump into that the Python ecosystem. So if you take that any kind of technology or perspective, so if you're going to implement, so before that, we'll try to understand what exactly the ecosystem of specific technology. Same way in Python as well. So we have the separate dedicated ecosystem. So if this is going to be a different layer like the data structure and mathematical capability, and we have visual representation, and top of that we have algorithm collections for machine learning and deep learning and etc. Here, if you start with the data structure and mathematical capabilities, we have the Pandas, NumPy, and Stat model. And we'll go move on to that visual representations. We have matpoltlib and SeaBorn layers, means like it's going to be a complete libraries. And top of that, we have Sciket Learn, TensorFlow, Keras, all other libraries like to implement our the ML and deep learning algorithm. Obviously, we are going to use the Jupyter notebook for our demonstration. In real-time scenario, mostly we used to have a Databricks environment. There we used to have the PySpark language. Some sort of time they used to use Python as well. But if you talk about like the performance-wise, if you want to improve the performance speed, because once you're playing with real-time data, so certainly the system needs to be very fast, right? So that also we need to implement, so we have to implement these things with PySpark. I'm planning to develop different streamline like for Python program language as well as the PySpark so that you can get benefit out of that, right? Okay, let's go and go through the detail about like what exactly the different layers, what we are talking about here. Okay, right. The first thing is going to be Pandas. Pandas is the name derived from the panel plus data. Panel plus data is nothing but actually the multi-dimensional data playing around with that. It's going to be a panel data is nothing but pandas. Because actually the pandas is the very first library when you're going to implement any data science implementation, even if it's going to be a small program, so you can play around with the data in different way. Like you can be grouping or combining the data, filtering the data, and indexing, sorting, aggregation, concatenation. So slice and dices of the data. So everything we can do it by using pandas in a simple statement syntax. It's very easy to understand, easy to remember as well. And same time, the pandas supports the SQL capabilities. So that piece is a really fantastic one. So I'll share with you guys so that you can get benefit out of that. I mean, like I'm planning to share the separate video talks about like how the Panda actually compatibility with like the SQL. Okay, that is a very interesting thing. The same way, the Pandas will support as well the time series functionalities as well, right? So it supports tabular data and heterogeneous type to column, ordered or unordered data time series. There are so many things we can do. And one line statement, if you say, you can play around n number of play around the data with the pandas library. Okay, so you once I share all my pandas videos so that you can really enjoy that the essence of the pandas. Okay, the second one, it's going to be a NumPy. The NumPy is arrived in terminology like the numerical Python. There's actually next to that Python, Pandas, NumPy is going to be a very important library we need to implement. We need to import in our data science basic project. Is very important thing, right? So it supports data structure, algorithm, and scientific calculation formulas. So if you look at that, it supports the complex mathematical implementations like the algebra, linear algebra, Fourier transformer, calculus, integration. There are so many things. There are plenty of things like within under this NumPy. So based on the requirement, we can pull out and we can play around with that. And on top of that, we can play around with that, like reshape the array, slice and dices array, more faster capability. So for example, I can say I could remember one quick thing. If you want to do the pivot table in SQL query, it takes a huge time and to understand that making the pivot table in SQL. If you want to implement the in the NumPy or your given data set, in a fraction of seconds you can do it. Believe me on that. It was surprised when I go through these things years back. So I'll just try to understand what exactly that how they're doing specific things are like why they're calling out NumPy is a very powerful one. So by the time I'll understand that the specific NumPy, yes, of course, really very fantastic one. Years back, more than 3 years back. Okay, 3 4 years back. So that's a really fantastic thing. So we will show that. Even I'm planning to share the complete NumPy videos as well, so that you can enjoy that and you can do more on that. And coming to that statistical model, so this Python really we need to implement the lots of the statistical model we need to implement. So that there is a dedicated library which supports the math statistical model, which embeds like the mean, mode, max, minimum, standard deviation, variance. So there are so many all the statistical related um, things are implemented in this stat model. So once you implement it, just you call that method functions, pass the parameter, you can find out the output. Very easy and understandable way. But one thing you should remember, if you know the basic, the crux of that specific function, like say for example, if you're going to find out the minimum from the given series, then you should know how we are finding that minimum value, mean, mode, and the same way for the standard deviation formulas, understanding the concepts, it is really easy, nothing. So we move on to the second layer, that is nothing but the visualization. So here we have matpoltlib and SeaBorn. This is a very amazing thing, right? So I worked on different business intelligence tools that we used to create a different chart, pie chart, flow chart, bar chart, and so many things. Like, but then get into that the matpoltlib and SeaBorn, there was a graphs. It starts from histogram into heat plots. It's just amazing. Okay, so you can create a line chart, scatter plot, histogram, bar chart, heat plot, so much. And you can create like a 2D dimensional plot library, even a 3D dimensional libraries, you can create that. SeaBorn is an amazing one. So if you look at the SeaBorn, is a very amazing, powerful data visualization library, and it's built on that top of matplotlib. So it provides that the output, that the graphical representation that's inside of the data. It's really amazing, right? So I'm planning to share again the complete set of like visualization in Python, how to create the chart, not only to create the chart, but how to read the chart. Because as a data scientist or ML engineer or AI expertise, so if you're going to present something to the customer side, we should know exactly what the graphical representation speaks, how the data speaks through that pictorial, how the data speaks through the graphs. If it's going to be a polar plats or if it's going to be a heat map or it's going to be a box plot or violin plot or any other thing. So we have to, as a data scientist, as a data machine learning engineer, we supposed to explain the representation of that the graphs. right? So that the people can understand the insight of the data very, very clearly. I'm sure about that. Okay. So, and we'll jump into that. The Sciket Learn, the third layer, it's completely combination of all kind of the machine learning algorithms. It could like the classification, regression, clustering, model selection. There are so much of things are available in this specific Sciket Learn library. It is a very fantastic journey. If you're going to implement any machine learning and data science implementation, these major three layers libraries we are going to use, and we are going to find out. Either it could be a predictive analysis, it could be a classification analysis, or it could be anything like a deep learning, or going to do something any advanced model. This is a basic thing. We need all these libraries, and these layers need to be embedded in your code, in your file. Then you can execute, you can get that result. Okay, so simply I've explained like the available libraries under the name of ecosystem. So we understood that. I think hope you clear about like what exactly the Python ecosystem and what are the libraries available and whatever it requires for to build the very basic model. We have so many things. We'll see one by one in upcoming videos. So thanks for watching this video, and please do subscribe my channel. And if you want to follow my blogs, so I leave here my blog linked as well. So please share your comments. I'll catch up with the next video. Thank you guys. Thank you. Have a great day.